Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. Q, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Here.
Mrs. Claypool?
Here.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Okay, this meeting is a meeting of the West Geauga Local School District Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the West Geauga Local School District's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. We rise for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
There are none.
Okay, programs, reports, and presentations.
Well, it gives me a lot of pleasure tonight to introduce to our board a very special young person that represents West Geauga Local Schools. Charlotte Spire is here. Charlotte, would you stand up for us? She's here with her folks, Jennifer and Michael Spire. Charlotte is the youngest of 4 children, all girls, right?
No, 5 kids, 4 girls, 1 boy.
Oh my gosh, I forgot the boy. My own boys are going to be like, what is wrong with you? Oh dear, I apologize. Charlotte has represented West Geauga this year in the Cleveland Shining Star competition. The Shining Star competition happens down at Playhouse Square, sponsored by Key Bank. It's an opportunity for talented individuals across Northeast Ohio to showcase some of their vocal talents and gain reward that way, scholarship money, et cetera. And it is quite an honor to be chosen. Charlotte represented us as an alternate.
Musicals of elementary school, middle school, and now in high school. My love for musical theater has developed along with my singing voice. My development extended outside the regular choir classroom and included private voice lessons. I entered competitions, prepared for auditions, and practiced for countless hours. Along the way, I was blessed with working with amazing talent, the majority of which came from right here in the West Geauga School District. And all of these experiences helped me prepare for singing on stage at Playhouse Square for Shining Star Cleveland. In addition, I will use these skills to audition again for a role in Your Good Man, Charlie Brown, which is the musical that the high school will be performing in April of 2026. This is doubly exciting for all of us with a love of musical theater because for the first time, West Geauga will be taking part in the Dazzle Awards, which, to give perspective, is like the high school version of the Tony Awards. Knowing this incredible opportunity is coming to West Geauga is beyond thrilling. And I'm speaking here tonight to thank you for your past support of me and my journey, and to ask for your continued support of myself and my peers as we strive to shine on stage representing West Geauga at the Dazzle Awards. With the support you all have given, the program has come so far to where we are today, but we are not done yet. Please spread the word about the Dazzle Awards, support us at our performances in April, and please make all the talk about building a performing arts center a reality. With your continued support, West Geauga Musical Theater will shine, and you'll see many of our names, hopefully, in lights one day. I hope to inspire many of the young kids in the middle and elementary schools to keep going with their love of the arts and to always strive to do more for themselves and their communities. West Geauga has taught me to go out of my comfort zone and do more for myself as well as the community I am a part of. I want to end by thanking you again. Your support has meant everything to me. Thank you so much.
And thank your siblings, girls and boy, for us as well. And I promised you that you could sneak out, but I do, before you sneak out, want to thank Samantha Weiskin, who's here. Samantha came to us as a choral teacher, but has done so much more with Emma Figge as a part of our dramatics and musicals. They really are something. It is so moving to watch them. And, you know, free plug, Middle School Annie coming up, but we'll tell you exactly how you can get to those performances towards the tail end. You have to stick with me. But they are certainly filled with such great talent. We're so proud of them and so proud of you representing us. So we appreciate it, Charlotte, and I'm glad that you could come tonight. Thank you, Spires, very much all. Next up, a lot less entertaining. Well, I don't know. We'll be the judge, I suppose. We will have several of our administrators walk you through the state report card, which was released last month, but it was released on the board date, so we couldn't necessarily go through, but we will keep it short and to the point. But we want to have a chance for you to go over the report card results. Amy?
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. And I will not be expressing myself using my voice. I was a music major, and the flute didn't really go along with this presentation. So I could not be prouder to represent West Geauga. I'd like to start by expressing our sincere gratitude to the board, to the community, to the families, students, and parents. It's an honor to be here tonight to present this information, which is a testament to the hard work and dedication across the entire district. Before we dive into the details, I want to pause and celebrate what this report card truly represents. A huge point of pride, we are one of only 10 districts in the entire state to earn 5 stars overall and 5 stars in every single component area from the school year 24-25. That level of success does not happen by chance. It comes from years and years of hard work and shared commitment to excellence with care of students in the forefront. Tonight, we will walk you through the key components of this success and our goals moving forward. Mrs. Bellin is going to walk you through the current achievement and achievement over time.
So that's 10, Amy, out of all of 607.
Seven.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Tonight, I'm honored to share our performance index results, which represents wonderful news about our student achievement at West Geauga Local Schools. Before I get into the results, I also want to sincerely thank our students, our teachers, our staff, our administration, and our board for their relentless pursuit of excellence. West Geauga earned a performance index of 108.5 this year, ranking us number 11 in the state of Ohio. This places us among top performing districts in Ohio for our achievement. Some of us might be wondering, what does PI represent? The Performance Index is Ohio's most comprehensive measure of student achievement. Unlike the other metrics that only count proficiency or students passing the test, the Performance Index counts every single student's test performance. Students earn points based on their achievement level. Example, a student in a limited level earns less points than a student at basic. Advanced earns you more than proficient. That means that when we move any student up a performance category, even just one level, our performance index improves. Meaning every student counts and every achievement gain matters. This measure includes each and every student. It's the single best measure of the overall health of our district because it represents and reflects the achievement of every child, including our gifted students, our students English as language learners, as well as our students with significant cognitive disabilities, and every other student that we are educating, meaning that all are represented in this number and all matter. Our performance index increased this year because more students are scoring in the accomplished, advanced, and advanced plus categories. We're not simply stopping at proficiency, we're pushing every child beyond proficiency into the highest levels of achievement. And this isn't a one-year success story. In 2016 and 17, we ranked 53rd in the state. This year, we're number 11. And the last 4 consecutive years, from 2021 to 2025, we've been in the top 11 statewide. Our PI scores in those 4 years have improved every single year. In 2021, we were at 106.7, then up to 108.1, 108.2, and this year 108.5. And this didn't happen by accident. We've made intentional shifts to innovate our instruction. We've moved beyond content-driven teaching to centered student-centered and inquiry-based learning. Our professional development has focused on challenging and engaging all learners, not just meeting our minimum standards. And these results show that our efforts are working. We've built capacity throughout our organization, not just in isolated pockets. Our students, our staff, and our families have embraced this culture of continuous improvement. So what do these results tell us? They tell us three important things. First, we're not just meeting state standards, we're exceeding them significantly. Second, we're preparing students for rigorous academic challenges ahead, such as AP courses, dual enrollment, competitive colleges, and the challenges of modern workforce. Third, our investment in professional development, curriculum improvements, and instructional shift is paying off in measurable ways. So, moving forward, our goal is to continue to maintain this momentum. We will continue to focus on student engagement, academic rigor, and enrichment opportunities for each and every child. We will continue to keep supporting our teachers with the professional development and resources that they need to challenge each of our learners. The performance index measures every single child's achievement, and our results show that we have successfully grown students into higher level of achievements performance across the board. It's something we can all be proud of, and it's something we're committed to sustaining. Thank you, and with that, further ado, Jim Kay.
I wrote down my comments, so I keep them brief. Thank you, Megan. That's really outstanding work for the entire district, everybody represented. And as Dr. Davis mentioned, there are 5 components to the 5-star rating this year. On next year's report card, there will be a 6th component. You may have noticed that on the first slide. That is called college, career, workforce, and military readiness. This measure is unique as the data is held 1 year in arrears. The data shown on this year's report card is from the 2023-2024 school year, unlike the other categories which are from the 24-25 school year. Based on the 2023-2024 data, we earned 3 stars. This is the newest component of Ohio's report card and measures how well students are prepared for their lives after high school, whether it's college, the workforce, the military, or other training. Many of our students are measured using the ACT remediation free score, AP participation and achievement, that's advanced placement courses, college credits, honors diplomas, and technical assessments. Targeted areas for students to gain experience include increasing industry recognized credentials, pre-apprenticeships, and work-based learning. We addressed this last year through the addition of a robust pre-apprenticeship program in our English 11 and English 12 courses. We know that we have made much progress on this year's report card, and that will be reflected in next year's report card. This demonstrates our commitment to ensuring that students are successful after high school and that it's a top priority.
Okay, we're going to finish this off with a few next steps and a few areas for growth. Points of pride include being in the top 11 school districts in the state. Our high school is ranked number 2. If Ryan were here right now, he would be reminding all of us that is a huge point of pride. Yes.
Right.
West Geauga is one of only 10 districts, as we've mentioned, to receive the overall 5-star rating of 5 stars in each component area. Megan illustrated the continuous improvements on the performance index, and it's significant that we were able to reduce the chronic absenteeism to 9.1%. Continued growth, we're always working toward personalizing instruction and the supports. We are always working to expand enrichment and acceleration opportunities in preparation for life post-high school. And as always, we are committed to challenging students academically. But we'd like to finish by thanking, again, the community, including the board, teachers, staff, parents, and students. So thank you.
I just have a question. On the chronic absenteeism, was it reduced by 9% or to 9%?
To 9.
To 9, so now it's 9.1%. And what was it?
Like, I don't want to misspeak, but like
That's all right, around.
2 years ago, it was above 20.
Wow. What is chronic absenteeism?
Chronic absenteeism is measured by missing more than 10% of the school days within the allotted amount. So if we have 180, you have to miss 18 days to be chronically
both excused and unexcused?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, just missing the, okay, thanks.
I think as a result of COVID, the state really took this on, and we really just reminding parents, right, that this is the definition, and, our parents are such wonderful partners. They were quick to respond, and it's such a dramatic, just by pointing out, these are the pieces of the puzzle, so,
To improve.
yeah.
I say this every year, could just like rewind and hit play again. That our report card shows not just that we're teaching to a test, which I think is such an easy thing to say when you are such high performing like we are. We're teaching skills and critical thought, and you don't get the types of advanced plus and advanced and more than proficient. More than, or almost 3/4 of our students are above proficient in these. That's not teaching to the test. That is teaching critical life skills and thinking, and it is just such a testament to our leadership team that trickles down to our staff, to our students, and everybody understands what that means to succeed here. And I just can't thank everybody enough. So thank you for helping make that happen for our kids.
You're underlining that too, and showing that the graph that you did, that it just hasn't risen from the bottom, but the two upper levels have definitely both gotten higher and larger.
For sure.
So what you're saying is exactly true, that more students are rising into those top two tiers because of the work that our parents and teachers and staff are doing.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, boy. It's the end of the good news.
We're so glad to see you, Karen.
It is so
Perhaps
good to be
if
here
Charlotte could have helped
tonight.
you sing part of this
That's right.
presentation, Karen.
It's hard to follow financial information when you've had a performance like Charlotte's and
That
a
was
great.
cruel. That
It
was
was.
cruel. It was
But
not
it set
right.
us up for me, so there you go. So there you go. We're gonna go through, uh-oh. Oh, no. That's probably what happened. You just turned it off and said, no, I don't want it. A good technician, turn it off and
There
on
we go.
and see if it works.
There you go.
All right, thank you. All right. Our forecast is for our October forecast. We normally come here in November. We're here a little bit early because of legislative changes. If we look at the changes here, House Bill 96 has changes from a 5-year forecast to a 4-year forecast. However, the board policy requires me to prepare a 5-year forecast, so we'll continue to do that because we believe additional information is important for your planning. Our due date is October 15th. It's the 13th. We're getting in just in time. And then the next update of that would be in February. The state budget, we all talked about that in June. The state budget has been finalized. However, there were several vetoes that took place by the governor, and some of those have been overridden by the House and now the Senate. So we'll talk about those. So these are in play until they can continue to do any of overrides of that budget until December of 2026. So we've got a few more months, or a lot. Some things that we're going to talk about, not just numbers. We have a lot of things that are impacting our budget and going on in Ohio now that are creating some concerns that we have as a board and how we're going to fund our schools going forward. House Bill 96 is the current budget. We got about $200,000 in additional funding through the state foundation, and most of that was through our transportation formula that's now gone from 45 up to 45% of our reimbursement. The governor vetoed 4 key provisions that would heavily have impacted our school, our local revenue. However, one of those was overridden by the House, and we'll talk about that. House Bill 96 has included one provision that wasn't overridden. It's called the piggyback tax exemption law. That allows our county commissioners to give a second tax credit for homestead and homeowners rollback credit of 2.5% without any reimbursement. So now if we have a homestead or a rollback, we get a reimbursement from the state. So what they allow the commissioners to do is double that and then we'll no longer get that reimbursement, so we'll miss that. That's gonna be about $835,000 annually. And it will stay in place until they rescind it. So they don't have to do it annually, it'll stay in place unless it's rescinded. So we'll continue to see that. That deadline is October 31st, that our commissioners would have to make that decision. Some county commissions, we've heard lots of things across the state, have given out both. Some are just giving homestead exemptions because that's the ones in most need for that. We all understand, we all opened up our tax bill. We know that there needs to be tax reform, and this is one way for the county to do that. The governor, in the House bill, after House Bill 96 passed, set together a tax reform work group. It issues this report and talks about what the county budget commission can do, talk about carryover balances, and the substitute levies would be renamed as fixed sum levies. Those are some of the recommendations. I sent you a copy of the recommendations and a summary, so you have those. Certainly a great topic for later. We're not going to talk about them today. Some things that were going on. So first thing is the piggyback exemption. That's certainly something that's, we will hear within the next couple of weeks whether or not that's going to go forward. All indications is we will have something. The House and Senate voted to override the governor's veto that would eliminate our emergency and substitute levy renewals after January 1st, 2026. That, of course, would eliminate our current rollback credits when the levies expire. Again, this is why, one of the reasons that we put the levy on, the substitute levy on, so we could preserve that rollback credit for our tax residents. The next one is a old bill, but now it's been substituted. It's also been amended. It's setting with the House Ways and Means Committee. This is a substitute bill, House Bill 186. I sent you a copy, a draft of that. That limits the increases to inflation back to 2023. So it has a inflationary cap credit that would be given back to taxpayers. It would be in the August tax bill is what they're proposing. This proposes a tax credit targeting past property tax values. So it would go back 2 years, and then it would go forward after that. So if it were to go into effect, the 2 years going back and recouping that to a inflationary number, because we were on the 20 mil floor, so we got more than inflation, it would be $7.87 million per the last simulation that we were given. And then going forward, we would lose another $4.9 million going forward. This is, for us, would be catastrophic for us, and what we would have to do to make up that difference. This is, I believe there's almost, what did you say, Dr. Benincasa, 300 districts that are
308.
308 districts that are in this same scenario with us as well. So this is one we're watching closely. I know there's testimony coming up on this one as well Wednesday, so we'll keep an eye on that one as we go forward. House Bill 129 was passed in the House. It allows school districts to renew emergency levies as what they call a fixed sum levy. They're getting rid of the emergency levies unless it's truly the school district is in fiscal emergency. And there's different classifications for what's a fiscal emergency. But it only allows it to do it one time. Substitute levies will still be excluded, meaning that they're still eliminated and won't move forward going after our January 1st, 2026 date. The bill requires requiring emergency levies and substitute levies to be in the 20 mil floor calculation. This is something that's been under discussion. Right now, emergency levies are not in the 20 mil floor calculation, which creates an additional tax increase for those that drop below the 20 mil floor, which is the minimum amount that a school district should receive from its taxpayers. So this is going to move that into the 20 mil floor. We anticipated this. This is something has been talked about a great deal. We are right now, we're at 0.33 mils under the 20 mil floor. And so we're collecting 20 mil floors plus our emergency levies right now. The last bill that we want to talk about is House Bill 309. It passed. It authorizes the County Budget Commission to reduce levies, but the wording was what we have been talking about is what is necessary and excessive. Those definitions have been put in place in this House bill. However, the definitions are not, they're rather broad. So we'll see what that means when we go to the Tax Budget Commission. No levy reduction. Once you pass a levy, you can't reduce it for 5 years after the voters have approved that. They fell out of their chairs, they're so excited. So,
Karen, I have a question.
Yes,
On-
ma'am.
On the rollback, the inflation cap credit, which is the most onerous one for sure. How long do they have to override that veto? Till the end of next year?
yeah, into 2026. So, well, that's a new bill.
Right.
So that's not associated with the budget bill. So this would just be it would go the process of just the regular legislative process.
Okay.
So,
But it's
now the
being-
governor could come through and veto it at the end.
But it's with the House right now, and they have not approved it yet.
It's still in the House Ways and Means
okay,
Committee.
okay.
I believe they have testimony on Wednesday
Okay.
on it. Yeah, so that's the one obviously we're targeting, watching it very closely. There are, like I said, 300 other schools that are in the same,
So it's
center.
on Wednesday? Yeah,
Wednesday.
You can send us a link maybe? like you
If
did.
they have it, I'll certainly
If they
send that
have
out.
it, yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks.
One thing on the homestead, they did increase in the House Bill 96, they did increase the homestead exemption to 28,000. And that's over your total bill. It's not 28,000 per 100,000, it's 28,000 in total. So that's about $250 using our millage. Revenue and expenditures, as you see this graph, we're going to talk a little bit, oh, something didn't come through. The PDF didn't come through. Cash balances, if you look at that, is in the green. We see that going down as we have in the red line, the expenditures exceeding our revenue. And part of that is because of the expiration of the $3.7 million emergency levy that's going to expire in tax year 2027, but ends in December 2026. Why are these lines not in there? Not helpful. All right. State contributions, as we'll look at the purple, we get about 70% of our total funding comes from real estate, and our state funds about 24%. So we're still seeing, obviously, the taxpayers of West Geauga funding the majority of our school district through property taxes. House Bill 96 still has us on the guarantee through 27, and because we only have the budget through 27. We're forecasting that throughout the rest of the forecast as well. If there are changes, obviously, in the buy-in budget, or in the property tax changes, then we have to look at that and see we need to respond to that. Local taxes, you see the red versus the yellow, that's just the local versus the state funding. As we look at that, there's a small dip in you can see this in 27, or a small increase. That is the expiration of the $2.35 million levy that was suspended for 1 year for tax year 24. So that comes back on, and then you have a dip down as we go through, and we have basically in 2026, the expiration of the emergency levy of 3.7 million. So we have kind of two levies going in, 2.35 comes back on our property taxes, and then the 3.7 is expiring. So you'll see that dip down. On our forecast, we've added it to a separate line item, so you see that as we anticipate that in the substitute levy.
When do we start collecting that 2.35 again?
It will be in your 2026 tax bill.
So we haven't started collecting that
No.
yet? Okay.
And we cross over because we cross over fiscal years, you gotta get half in 1 year and half in another, so that's where we're at right now. If we look at our effective tax rates by district, West Geauga still is very favorable when it compares to other districts around the area. Even when we come back and put that 2.35 mil levy back on the ballot, we'd be at 25.85 mils. That would still have us at one of the lowest school district tax rates. Now, that doesn't mean that the value of our property in West Geauga is the lowest, but the tax rate that you would pay on it. So if you moved your district, moved your house over to, let's say, Kirtland or Sugar and Falls, you'd pay much more, but our rate's lower. Some of the key assumptions that we have in the forecast related to expenditures, we have a 3-year contract. We're in the second year of a 3-year contract with our two bargaining units, 3.2, 3.3, and 3.5 was our base wages, and certainly have steps associated with that. We did hire 4 bus drivers. If you recall, we had a lot of bus drivers that had resigned or retired last year, and we had to contract out those services to provide transportation for our students. Those have been hired, so I think we're fully staffed, and we've reduced that contracted labor out of our purchase services. The preschool has moved from our Metzenbaum program, which is run through the county, and is now housed at Westwood. So if you have you want to see nice, cute little kids, Megan will take you on a tour of that. We're planning, as we've seen the phase 2 of that program, we're going to talk about that in November, is moving the remaining preschool students over to Westwood.
And the net cost to us, because we're saving.
We're saving, yeah,
one line item, but adding it under, but we're neutral, right? Or even a little better?
we're a little bit ahead.
That's what I
We're a
meant.
little bit ahead. When you see
Okay.
the phase 2, we'll see a savings in like $150,000, $175,000, but this one's pretty neutral from that standpoint. We still have related services that are being provided that are, like speech, OT, PT, that we buy from the county still. Because you don't want to hire, if you only need part of those hours, you don't want to hire full-time staff. So that's one way to share services and reduce our cost. Insurance premiums for 2026 is 6.5% for medical. We're also looking at dental premiums at 13%. We went out for bid for dental and our life insurance. Dental premiums were coming back at 21%, 19 to 21%, so we went out to bid. We got some favorable rates. The Health Insurance Committee will look at those and make that recommendation going forward on later this week.
6.5% is.
We're
really
seeing,
good. We expected it to be.
we
much
were
higher, right?
anticipating, based on our claims, we were anticipating something much higher. What happens is we are in a consortium with Ohio School Benefits Council, and Medical Mutual runs that consortium. So what happened is Medical Mutual came in with their, I think almost a 9% increase, and throughout, because of the experience with the consortium, they were able to reduce it 2%. So that has saved us quite a bit of money there. That consortium has been, it's done well for us. We've had quite a single-digit increases or sometimes 0% increases, so we've done well with that. And we had some changes in our benefit structure with our classified staff that also contributed to a reduction in our premiums. Purchase services continue to increase. This is one area that we're going to be focusing, we've been focused on, and we're looking at it. Utilities, of course, are in there. Repairs and maintenance, we have a lot of repairs and maintenance. We've had a bad run with our repairs and maintenance. Things broke. And we have student tuition in there, technology support, transportation contracts. All of those things are rolled into that purchase services. So it does tend to increase when we're looking at student placements if we have to outplace a student. Supplies continue to show an increase outside the inflationary cost. Mark will tell you every time I come into his office, he's going, I know, Karen, I know it's gone up. So we're seeing a great deal of increase in our supplies because we buy them all over the place. It's, and people were stressed during COVID. We used money during COVID to pay for those and offset those costs, but we're now having to pay full price for those as well. We also had some additional textbook increases in 26 for the science of reading. That's our Wit and Wisdom program, and that is going to be an ongoing expense, I understand, as we go through the rest of the forecast. Capital expenses are really whatever a planned project we might have, annual Chromebook purchases, and needs that we might have outside the permanent improvement fund.
Scott, are you gonna give us an update on the capital plan at maybe sometime in the next couple months or so?
We're gonna have that in November.
Oh, good.
Because of-
Good.
I think that's what Scott and I have talked about.
No, they don't think they do.
Yeah.
Have a really good capital plan.
And we've talked about it before.
Right, yeah.
Yes, that's
I
coming.
think it's good to refresh
Yeah,
and
just
to,
a
I mean, and it changes a little bit here and there, so I think it'd be good to look at that.
As we look at that, we've made some transfers from our general fund to other funds so that we can meet the additional needs coming in the next 3 to 5 years. We've moved $250,000 into our employee severance fund. That is to anticipate we have a bubble of retirees in the 28-year range. Now they've reduced the retirement age to 32, so we're trying to fund that, so we'll have enough to pay for severance pay when those retirements come about. We also anticipate moving $1.5 million to our permanent improvement fund. If you recall last year, the PI inside millage, the 1 mil that was moved over to a PI fund, was moved back into the general fund by the Budget Commission. So that money is still there, it's just sitting in the general fund, and now we are moving it back to the PI fund. Once we move it to the PI fund, once the board does that and it takes that action, it can't go back to the general fund. So we move it a little bit at a time. So last month you approved $1 million. We'll wait to make the next $500,000, really waiting on the piggyback exemption to determine whether or not we'll make that final move to fund those projects. And then we'll have to make some accommodations to that.
Are they gonna keep the retirement at 32? I mean,
It's got a schedule, and Dr. Benincasa probably well-versed in the schedule, but,
Right now, it's no. But we're hearing things that it might stay. But right now, there is a limit to the 32, and then what it seems like would happen right now is it would go back to 35, but we're hearing that there might be a stair step up kind of a situation.
the board, 2 years ago, set up a middle school capital improvement fund. This paid for the roofs, the windows, the doors, things that we've been taking care of at the middle school, because as we looked at our master facility plan, we knew this was a building that we would continue to utilize no matter what happened with our master facility plan. So we have allocated or earmarked all of those funds. That'll include the new water treatment center and possibly maintenance facility, depending on how the numbers come in, along with we're looking at the building facade repairs. As you know, we have water damage that's taking out part of our facade, and then univent replacements here at the middle school. So that's, all that money has been earmarked. In addition to that, you also had earmarked additional funding for future district-wide capital cost over the next 5 years, parking lots and drainage repairs in all buildings. I think everybody can agree Lindsay's probably the next on the list. I believe Scott is what we've talked about. Track and tennis court replacement, depending on the placement of the tennis court and where it would be. Lindsay boiler replacements, we have 2 boilers that were fixed this year, but we'll need to replace those as we go along, because we want to make sure that they're working and the winter doesn't do anything to them. HVAC and univent replacements in all buildings, roof replacement and repairs at the high school, Westwood and Lindsay. We've completed or almost completed the one at the middle school. High school windows and door replacement, if we continue to have that online, if we don't pass any kind of bond and have a new building, we need to make those adjustments. And so the classroom furniture and technology, we really haven't spent a lot of money on furniture and all that, other than what we spent during COVID. So the little buildings, the elementary buildings, they got new furniture and kind of worked there, but the middle school and high school did not. We did add, STEM room has been updated, so there's some other programs. We are looking, I believe you had a discussion on the vet tech program, and that is another area where we'd have to put some money in to make that program work. Wages, benefits, again, is red and the purple. That makes up our 73% of our total expenditures. And we spend about, one question people have asked is, how much do you spend per month? We spend about $3 million per month. So when we look at our cash balance, you'll see the recommendation from the GFOA, which is one of our organizations we look at, is to have a minimum of 60 days. The board policy is 120 days before triggering an action by the superintendent and treasurer to come to the board. At this point, if you would notice that we have in 2026, if you had the numbers, we would have 112 days. So we're under our 120 days for this year. Part of that is related to some transfers that we had, but we will, if you look at the next 27 and 28, we're over 120 days. So those things have been accommodated in the budget. If we do, again, have the piggyback, we'll have to make some accommodations. Dr. Benincasa and I have talked about a number of actions that we would take in this year's budget, because we would see half of that take care of this year and half of it next year in the fiscal year. So we'd have to make some changes there to
And I mean, we
mirror
set
those.
it at 120.
Mhm.
And I think it's worth stating that it's not because we think we necessarily need a larger cash reserve. It's because we want visibility. And we think going to 60-day visibility for the board is not enough. That's not long enough. I mean, if you had to do something, right?
Yeah, it doesn't give us a lot of time to react.
Right, so we did set it at 120. Again, it's more of a trigger for discussion, for awareness, for visibility, so just so
And-
everybody understands.
And that's what it is. It's a discussion as we go along. So what things do we need to do? It sets our sights. That's why we do these 5-year forecasts. It says, what do we need to do now that would, get us into a spot of addressing an issue in the future? As we go forward, it's happening here. That's okay, Scott. It's okay. I guess we're pulling the
Scott's
plug
checking
on
his,
that as we look forward
Mail.
to that. I think one of the things going forward, we do have the levies expiring. The $3.7 million levy is expiring in 2026. The $2.3 million levy in 2029. That's moving on to a substitute levy on the ballot. So that is critical for us as we move forward on what, meeting these forecast goals. This forecast is going to change. We have a lot of property tax reform that's going to happen between now and the end of the year. And a lot of that's because it has to impact 2025 tax year for it to go into effect. Otherwise, you have to wait a whole another year. So we'll be working with that. So in February, we'll have a better idea of what the property tax reform, I think, would be for us going forward. If the substitute levy doesn't pass and we have to we have state cuts or reduce our state funding, obviously, we will have to make some significant cuts. And if substitute House Bill 186 comes into play, that will be major cuts coming into our budget. So we are hopeful as we look at other districts in the same boat that we can come together and come to a solution that would still, with our residents, reduce the tax burden that they have, plus adequately fund our schools as well. So any questions? I know numbers would help. You certainly can get those, but we are in good shape from the standpoint if we have this going forward where we are now. February may be a different story as we move forward with the changes we have available.
And the new levy just replaces the two levies, and they immediately, as soon as that goes into effect in next year, 27, right?
Yes, so if it is passed, the proposed tax levy or substitute levy is passed, those are replaced. So it will collect the $6 million that we had anticipated being collected in 26 as well.
But immediately replaced.
Immediately
As of
replaced.
the new
We're,
year.
yes,
Not according to what some sources are saying, that we would continue.
We don't
to
double
receive,
up.
but both of them would be.
right. We don't double up. So what happens is those are replaced, the new one comes on, so we'll see that, yes.
But it doesn't, we don't collect the new one until tax year, or fiscal calendar year 27. Tax year.
Half year, we'll collect
Half year and
half year 26.
And half year in 27. Gotcha.
And
Because
then
of-
the
They're
reason,
billed in March and August.
Correct.
But any rebates will come back, could be in March, half and half as well.
It's confusing, because if it passes, we would continue to receive the money that we would receive through what doesn't expire until 2029.
Correct.
But it's not doubled.
We're not getting both. You're not gonna get an emergency levy and a substitute levy. You're getting just the substitute levy, which is equal to the 2 emergency levies. Mhm.
and it should be noted that the auditor site that shows the increase is not really, it's not accurate in that manner. It shows an increase because they suspended the collection of that one levy, but this is still an equal for equal replacement.
Right, so what their system allows them to do is, in the current column, if you were to look on your property tax forecast or, levy calculator, the current year has the $3.7 million emergency levy in it. Because the $2.35 million emergency levy was suspended, it doesn't show. So you're getting apples to oranges, basically. So what they were able to do on the website was to add a notation that this was suspended, and it comes back on in 2026.
And one thing, and we've talked about this before, but it always bothers me that we don't call an emergency levy because we're having an emergency. It's because that's the only thing that we can call it. That's what the state has said we have to call
Well,
it.
we didn't name it.
No,
just
we
went
did
with the
not
names
name it,
that they
and we
gave
haven't
us,
said
yeah.
that we have an emergency, but that's what the state has mandated that it be called.
And that's why
So
some of the property
Don't keep coming
tax.
back, even at the budget commission.
Yes.
They were giving us a hard time for that, and they should know better.
And that's some of the purpose of some of the tax reform is changing the language to fix
Yeah.
some levy.
And
Because that's what it
rightfully
is,
so. I mean,
you know.
it's been labeled that for, I don't know how many years, but a long time.
Right. And those,
Yeah.
again, those levies have been on, you know, we passed them, the residents passed them in 2003 and 2005. They've been renewed, each one of them have been renewed 3 times.
Yeah, and we're appreciative, you know, Mr. Walter worked with us when, on the Otter website, because it is confusing and the calculator was not accurate.
Right.
For a variety of reasons, it's complicated, so many pieces and moving parts, and he was, very kind. And I think the idea of the language, albeit still confusing to a general taxpayer, because it's a very confusing topic, frankly, and complex. But ultimately, Christina, to your end, the 2 emergency levies equal the substitute levy that you, as a board, put on.
And one other thing, if I may.
Yes.
This was, what we brought to Mr. Walter's attention, and I brought to Karen's attention, and then she followed through with that, was brought to me by a taxpayer, by somebody in the community who had, looked at what her tax bill was, and then she had looked at the county, website, and saw that her taxes were going up, even though she had read in the Chesterland News that there were no new taxes. So it's very confusing to the community, and I thank her for coming forward, and I think that if anybody else has questions, you know, come forward, because that's the only way we're going to get the proper information out there and brought to our attention.
Right.
Now, we wouldn't have been able to take that step if it hadn't been brought up. So thank you, and continue to ask your questions.
And anyone has any questions regarding the levy, regarding our finances, certainly, please call me, send me an email. I'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay, we have no public remarks for this evening, so we will move on to routine items.
Resolution 379 to approve routine matters of the West Geauga Local Board of Education.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
I have a couple questions. That's this, right? I forgot to write it down.
That's a separate one.
That's the later one, the warrants.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood.
Yes.
All right, Resolution 380 to approve warrants for September 2025.
So moved. Second? Any discussion?
Who was, I'm sorry, who was the second?
I was the second.
Okay.
That's when I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
One is on the removal and repair of damaged areas of the high school. Was that because of the roof?
In
Yeah.
124?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was because of,
Oh, okay, because I was gonna ask if insurance covered it, but no. No, okay.
because of a faulty AC, HVAC, the lack of circulation, and some other things.
And have we heard anything from insurance on the lights?
Yes.
Yes, we accepted, the amount was about 17% of what we paid for the lights. And there was a equation that they came up with that, you know, what was broken, what wasn't, and I think it equaled right around $31,000 or $32,000 reimbursement to us, insurance claim.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool.
Yes.
Resolution to accept increases in the 2026 appropriation.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Resolution 382 to accept a donation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Resolution 383 to approve a then and now certificate.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Resolution 384 to approve student activity statements of purpose and budgets for 2025-2026 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Oops. We all really like that one.
I was gonna say
Any
everybody
discussion?
like-
Ooh. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Resolution 385 to approve the October financial forecast.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Dr. Benincasa?
Resolution 386 is a resolution to approve correction of per diem rate for certified stipends for work outside of the 24-25 school year.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Resolution 387 is a resolution to approve certified long-term substitute assignment.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Resolution 388 is a resolution to accept a certified staff retirement.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
The only thing I discussed is that I said to Karen, when I start seeing kids of friends of mine who I knew when they were little, coming to the end of their teaching time, really makes me feel old.
Certainly,
Age
when
is but a number.
Ms.
Kathy.
Suston reached out to me, it was a shocking twist that she would even be available for such a thing, so we wish her well.
Oh, yeah, it's been great.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Resolution 389 is a resolution to approve classified staff appointments for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Resolution 390 is a resolution to approve change in classified staff contracts for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Resolution 391 is a resolution to accept a classified staff retirement.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Any concern, did we know about this? I mean, do we have a plan? I know
Yes.
Bus drivers are hard to, and I notice there's another, we have two, so,
Yes.
but all planned for.
Yeah, we had, through Indeed, we had some folks come in that applied, and then the career fairs, and then we're gonna set up another driver event, depending on what the career fair looks like. So,
Okay.
Yeah, trying a little different on those.
Call
And
the roll,
we're
please.
appreciative of Pat's service, so I talked to her last week and told her I was displeased. She didn't seem to care much, honestly.
How rude.
How rude, yes.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Congrats to Pat. Resolution 392 is a resolution to accept classified staff resignations.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Resolution 393 is a resolution to terminate the probationary employment of a classified employee.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Resolution 394 is a resolution to approve supplemental contracts for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes?
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh.
Yes.
Resolution 395 is a resolution to approve service contracts for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth.
Yes?
Resolution 396 is a resolution to authorize the award of service contracts for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes?
Mrs. Sherwood.
Yes.
Resolution 397 is a resolution to approve the first reading of new policy 1422.01 and revised policies 0131.1, 1613, 2271, 2340, 2460, 3213, 4213, 5113, 5120, 5131, 5330, 5350, 5460, 5610, 5751, 6151, 7440.01, 8142, 8452, and rescind policy 0171.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
This is first reading, so we
Yes.
can discuss.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
please. And if you see anything that you'd like to talk about, please reach out.
I will. Thanks.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth.
Yes?
Resolution 398 is a resolution to approve the second and final reading of new policies 0165, 0166, 7540.09, and revised policies 0100, 0142.1, 0151, 0152, 0155, 0163, 0164, 0167.2, 1100.01, 1520, 4120.08, 4121, 7530.01, 7530.02, 7530.03, 7540.03, 7540.04, 8310, 8315, 9160, and rescinded policies 0165.1, 0165.2, 0173.
So moved. Second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes?
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool.
Yes.
Resolution 399 to accept the 25-26 annual report to the Board of Education on nutrition standards in the district.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just have a question. I think I had the same one last year. And that's fine, that review, for the food part, the nutrition, but the wellness, you know, the 8510 is a whole nother, she wouldn't be approving that. And that's part of, and that has some, and maybe something we need to do to look at the policy. Because right now, there's requirements in the policy that that are, so for example, we should have a annual presentation on the wellness committee. There should
Yes.
be every 3 years an assessment of the committee, et cetera. It should be on our website, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think maybe,
Mhm.
I mean, I accept this is fine, because half of it is all nutrition
Yes.
and has all to do with food, but then that part, wellness, has to do with exercise, physical activity. et
Yes.
cetera.
So the Wellness Committee meets each year. It is it's a board committee led by Scott. Happy to have a presentation to the board about some of the work that was started last year and will continue through this year. So I think separately, we're happy to do that. Let me look at the date so we don't inundate you with
Right.
presentations, but we'll time it so it's a good time for you, but we'll talk about that.
And look at the policy, because
Sure.
maybe this needs to be, it's been a long time since it was reviewed and updated, so. it might
The
be-
wellness, yes,
seems
the
a little
committee, yeah.
Overwhelming, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty extensive.
Yes.
So, and I'm not saying none of that's important, it's just that, let's
Right.
look at it.
Sure. Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes?
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh.
Yes.
Resolution 400 is to approve a proposed the proposed middle school field trips for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Do they always go to a cemetery? That just seems so odd to me.
I couldn't hear you.
They're going to visit a cemetery.
We did last year.
Did you?
Yeah.
And,
Have you ever
Tell
been to
me more.
Have you been to Lakeview Cemetery?
no,
Well, you
it's
should.
beautiful.
It's
That's why
phenomenal.
I was asking. 'cause
That's where
I assume it's got
Garfield
some
is.
special meaning. And-
Yes,
Yeah,
President Garfield is there.
Yeah.
And then they have beautiful floral and.
oh, cool,
yeah.
okay,
And
great.
it's sort of on the way, so it's a nice
Yeah,
morning stop.
well, I figured that was perfect. Thanks.
It's one of the
Million
landmarks, you know,
I guess I'm gonna
of
have to go
Cleveland.
visit.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth.
yes,
Resolution 401 is a resolution to approve the facilities use agreement between Beechwood City School District and West Geauga High School.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth.
yes.
Yes, and have for the past couple of years. Resolution 402 is a resolution to approve Reserve School of Applewood Centers, Inc. agreement for educational services with West Geauga Schools for the 25-26 school year.
So move.
Second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes,
Mrs. Sherwood.
Yes.
Resolution 403 is a resolution declaring transportation impractical for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
second,
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
yes,
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool.
Yes.
I'll introduce the next resolution, and then after you approve, or not approve it, but second it, we'll have Scott talk a little bit about it, just so you have a better understanding. Resolution 404 is a resolution to authorize the request for design-build RFP for the water treatment maintenance building.
so move.
Second.
Scott?
So I wanted to give a little update on the last time. From the time that the RFQ was approved and we picked Osborne, we've had approximately 10 meetings with architects, engineers, water engineers to kind of go through a lot of different aspects. Some of those are building, civil, engineering, utilities, the equipment that goes in there, if it's a full purchase or partial purchase because of the amount of students, placement, impacted areas, turnarounds, there's a lot of things. And then thinking about the trenching component that would come out of that. In that process, and after we got the preliminary numbers, we've hovered around that $5 million mark that we've kind of earmarked for that facility. And what we want to propose out in the RFP is a full build of the maintenance water treatment facility, but with deduct alternates. So here's the big plan, and here are the things that we can eliminate. One would be just the water treatment, one would be kind of framing in the rest of the maintenance, and then the full maintenance water treatment. So if and when the RFP is approved, we would like to revise that and go out at the end of October. What that would then, the timeframe for that is we would probably put that RFP out for about 6 weeks, which would take us middle of December, and then from that point on till the board meeting in January, we would kind of look through those proposals / bids components, but proposals, and then try to renegotiate depending on who has provided those proposals. Todd Brandt is here from Osborne, in case you have any specific questions, but he's here to support and kind of, show us that they're here for us, which has been great meetings. So we've had some great meetings, and we've talked about a lot of different things, but our wish is to go out for RFP, which will have a little bit of qualifications in that RFP with those groups, and then start that process at the end of October.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that, the well and the water treatment we have to do. There-
Correct.
that's not
Right.
That's not even up for discussion. The maintenance building is the one, depending on financing and what happens, that's the one, and that's why we're getting a quote for it separate, so that's great, so, good.
Any questions?
Plus, we'll know a lot more about funding.
That's what I mean,
Right.
once we know funding and,
Sure.
you know, I mean, it makes sense to do them at the same time. I know there's gonna be savings doing that, but it might not make financial sense if we don't have the funding, so.
True.
So, thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks for being here.
We can have a vote. Vote.
Oh, call the roll, please, sorry.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
Yes,
Mrs. Coleman Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hold on a moment.
Resolution 405 is a resolution approving master services agreement between Osborne Engineering and West G Schools.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
just, is that, I read the contract, but is it pay based on hours and time? And okay, that's what that,
Proposals under a certain cap of money, and those would be any type of things like the boilers and the plumbing.
Sure.
The, pre-K room, the renovations to that, even some parking lots, looking at how that engineer, if we need to bid or go for proposals. So having them with us, is a good thing, for sure.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sherwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool,
yes,
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth.
Yes.
Resolution 406 is a resolution to approve a last chance agreement.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Claypool,
yes,
Mrs. Coleman Walsh,
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth,
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwood.
Yes. Okay, we're on to the discussion of old business and suggestions to be included on future agenda. One thing that I would like to add or talk about is to change the times that our board meets for its public meetings from 7 PM to 6 PM. As Mrs. Claypool noted earlier, in just a basic conversation we were having, it gets dark earlier now and long days. So what do we feel about changing our times for future board meetings, moving it up an hour? Do we have any?
I'm good with that.
Beginning in November.
Yeah, the November
10th.
10th? So starting the November 10th meeting, then we can just do it, right? Could we have time to advertise that?
Yes. I'll
Okay.
take- And we did change, we sent out advertising and changing the date to November 10th because of the OSBA conference.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, and then, does anybody have anything for, anything else, old business wise? Okay. Okay, cool, so that's done, yep. Superintendent report.
Sure, thank you. I wanted to report to you that we have lots of kids doing a lot of great stuff right now. You saw Charlotte. Dylan Phillips represented us at the state golf tournament. He's a sophomore. And I will tell you, if you want to talk about 2 days of bad golfing conditions, Dylan met them head on last week. It hadn't rained for a million years, and the 2 days he was to be on the course down in Dayton, they literally stopped day 2 in the midst. But I am happy to report, now he's promised to give me lessons. So I'm just saying, Dylan, I'm holding you to that. But he is the son of Dan and Sarah Phillips, and he placed 6th, and he made second team All-State. So I'm sure probably in Brandon's fall report, you can have a chance to congratulate Dylan. But we're super proud of him, and obviously he's a young golfer for us, so we're excited to see what he has ahead. This week, if you would like to be entertained by our athletes, we have a girls' soccer game at West G in tournament time tomorrow night. Wednesday night boys soccer at West G tournament at 7 o'clock, and then Thursday volleyball will play. So we have all of our kids in these areas competing for us at the tournament level. And then our middle school musical is Annie, get ready. And it's going to be Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday Friday, we have a home football game, so we will have a home football game, and then you can catch that middle school musical. And I've heard snippets, and I know some of our central office staff went and had a little preview, and so I'm hearing very good reports. But feel free to do
Very
that.
nicely, she sent us an invitation.
Great. And for everybody watching, I'm sure the thousands of people live streaming this meeting, you can get tickets on our website, and there's information on the website. So if you just go to the website, you can get more information about it. So, thanks.
Thank you. Any board reports? Okay. Our next board meeting is going to be Monday, November 10th, 2025 at 6 PM. Here in the board office community room. That is a revised date from the originally published because the board is going to be in Columbus for the OSBA conference during that scheduled one, but we did send that notice out. Do we have a resolution to adjourn?
So moved. Second?
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Coleman Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Leavenworth?
Yes?
Mrs. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Claypool?
Yes.
Thank you.